Captain Clark will close it out, and then we'll take a couple of questions one at a time. Sir.
Good afternoon. As you're all aware, we had a sailor who was killed here on Monday evening. That sailor was MA2 Mark A. Mayo, and he was assigned to my security forces. In my opinion, Petty Officer Mayo's actions were nothing less than heroic. He selflessly gave his own life to ensure the safety of the sailors on board USS Mahan. Petty Officer Mayo's family has endured a tragic loss. We share in that loss, as we have lost a tremendous shipmate and a friend. The events of Monday evening are under investigation, but it is known at approximately 11:20 p.m. there was a shooting on board USS Mahan at Pier 1. The suspect approached Mahan's quarterdeck and was confronted by the ship's petty officer of the watch. A struggle occurred and the suspect was able to disarm the sailor. Mayo, serving as the chief of the guard on Naval Station Norfolk, rendered assistance after seeing the suspect board the ship. Petty Officer Mayo courageously put himself between the gunman and the petty officer of the watch, and as a result was fatally wounded. We are fortunate that we have strong relationships with the ships at Naval Station Norfolk and our security forces, and that was evident Monday night, and I would like to thank the commanding officer and the crew of the USS Mahan for their outstanding coordination efforts in the wake of this tragic event. I'd like to introduce Commander Shinneman, CO Mahan.
Good afternoon. My name is Commander Zoe Shenneman, Commanding Officer of USS Mahan DDG 72. First and foremost, on behalf of my officers and crew, I want to offer my thoughts and prayers to the family of MA2 Mark Mayo, the brave master-at-arms who gave his life while saving the lives of untold others and protecting my ship and crew in the line of his duties. His bravery and professionalism personify the policies and plans we have in place that we routinely drill and exercise, working together to support and protect each other, one team around the world, here and at home. I'd also like to thank everyone for their concerns and well wishes passed along to me and all the sailors of Mahan. Your outreach has been of great comfort. Beginning with his family, the events of Monday impact us all, on the base and all of our ships. Just as MA2 Mayo offered dedicated support when it was needed, now is the time for us to support each other, to work with the chaplains, Portsmouth Naval Hospital, and Fleet and Family Services personnel to heal these wounds, to learn from this tragedy so we can serve our Navy and our nation without risking injury or loss of life. Mahan has begun to heal the wounds of those sailors immediately impacted, the first responders, and those that are feeling that their proud ship, their home, has endured such a tragic event. We continue to thank all for their support and understanding in this most trying time. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mario Palomino. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the NCIS Field Office here in Norfolk. NCIS is the lead agency investigating the shooting on the night of March 25th. Our investigation remains open at this time. However, I can provide a few details today. On Monday night at approximately 11 o'clock p.m., a non-DoD affiliated male civilian drove onto the base to the entry control point at Gate 5 of Naval Station Norfolk. The details of his access through entry control still remain under investigation at this time. And when he arrived at the vicinity of Pier 1, the civilian departed his 2002 freight liner truck and gained access to the pier on foot. Shortly after arriving at the pier, the civilian proceeded up the ramp towards the USS Mahan. The civilian was confronted by security personnel from the ship and the base while on the ramp near the quarterdeck, at which point the civilian got into an altercation with the petty officer of the watch and disarmed the watchstander. At that point, Petty Officer Second Class Mark Mayo pushed the petty officer of the watch out of the line of fire, stepped over the watchstander, and proceeded to fire his weapon at the civilian. Petty Officer Mayo was fatally wounded in the exchange of gunfire before additional security forces were able to neutralize the civilian. Numerous pistol rounds were fired by the suspect and security forces. At least one roving security team member returned fire with a rifle. NCIS has identified the subject, but we're not going to release that information at this time due to the ongoing investigation. However, at this point in the investigation, we have been able to rule out any additional threat to the Navy pertaining to this civilian. We have ruled out any link to terrorism, and preliminary facts do not indicate that this was a pre-planned attack. NCIS is continuing its investigation to the events leading up to the death of Petty Officer Mayo and the civilian subject. Investigative efforts continue into the background of the civilian. We have been assisted by several local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, including the FBI Norfolk Field Office, who is here with us today. We will continue to work closely with the base security as we press forward with the investigation. I would like to commend the ongoing efforts of Assistant Special Agent in Charge Bill Thomas, Supervisory Special Agent Frank Bruzzi, Supervisory Special Agent Mike Robinson, the Norfolk Criminal Investigation Squad, the NCIS Norfolk Major Case Response Team, and the entire NCIS team that has participated in the investigation. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon again. We talked quite a bit yesterday about access. So many of you have questions about the suspect's access to Naval Station Norfolk. As NCIS has already stated, this is an active and ongoing investigation. We have questions ourselves that we want to get answers to. What I can tell you is that the civilian did have a valid Transportation Workers Identification Card, the TWIC card that I discussed yesterday. He did not have authorization, however, to be on my base. So as the commanding officer, I am looking into the procedures that were followed for access Monday night to ensure we followed proper protocols. If I find the procedures were not adhered to, I will take immediate and appropriate corrective action. The security of this installation is my highest priority. I'm working closely with NCIS in the investigation, and I will share information as it becomes available. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with the Mayo family. I ask that you continue to keep them in your prayers and thoughts as well. Thank you very much.
All right, we've got time for a couple of questions. Mike?
You all have done a great job thus far, as best as you can, telling us how this unfolded, but do you have any ability to tell us why this happened, why this assailant did what he did?
At this point in the investigation, we do not have a motive yet for the assailant's activities. However, that is something that we are focused on, and we hope to uncover that as we go on with the investigation.
Is there any known relationship? What is the known relationship of the suspect with the ship? Did he have any?
At this point right now, we don't know of any, but as I said, the investigation is ongoing. And
Is there any reason to believe that he knew someone on the ship and was coming to visit that person?
At this point, we don't have anything indicating that right now. So.
Sir, could you clarify again where the shooting actually happened? Was it physically on the ship, or was it on the brow leading to the ship?
Can you answer that, Mario?
Yes, sir. In response to where it actually occurred, it's going to be actually on the quarterdeck of the vessel.
On the actual ship itself?
Yes, sir.
And what is your name, sir?
Supervisory Special Agent Frank Bruzzi.
Did the suspect say anything as he was approaching that first line of defense?
Again, ma'am, with it being an ongoing investigation, at this point we're not in the position to release that.
Did the suspect say something? And you can't tell us what, but did they say something as to why they were there?
At this time, ma'am, those details aren't available.
Okay. Right here.
Information about the,
Question right here.
about the officer that was disarmed. Are you identifying them or saying whether it was male or female? Anything about them or their condition right now?
Yeah.
The person who was unarmed was a qualified professional sailor.
The one that was disarmed.
Disarmed.
Yeah.
Qualified professional sailor.
Male, female?
Qualified professional sailor.
Just to be clear on the TWIC card, he had a valid card but was not allowed to be on the base. Is that correct? And can you explain how that would happen?
He had a valid card, but he did not have authorization to be on the installation. So the card gives you access to different installations, but for this particular evening, he did not have authorization to be on my base at that time.
But the TWIC card was valid.
It was a valid card,
but
correct.
not valid to be at Naval Station Norfolk.
That's correct.
This person, the suspect, did he have any known mental issues that you are aware of as part of the process of getting the TWIC card?
Once again, this is an ongoing investigation. We hope to release information as we get it, but obviously we're not at that point right now.
We have time for one more question. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about what MA2 Mayo actually did? Can you describe that maybe a little bit more? You said he actually pushed the petty officer of the watch out of the line of fire. Maybe can you also explain, Mayo is assigned to Mahan or assigned to someone else?
Petty Officer Mayo is a part of my Naval Security Forces at Naval Station Norfolk. He was a member of my team. They are in charge of providing security. Well, Naval Station Norfolk Security Department. So he's a member of that department.
Can you talk about the heroic action, the physical, obviously training says to do that. Can you talk about how extraordinary what he did was?
Yes, I mean, yeah, it was incredibly extraordinary. I can't go into all the details because of the investigation. All I can tell you is what I just told you is that he jumped into the way between the gunman and the petty officer of the watch. She fell to the ground. He covered her, and he basically, you know, gave his life for hers. So that's about the extent I can give you, but I think you understand where it went.
Was the suspect in a commercial truck, and will you identify the company that he was riding for?
That's an NCIS question.
We won't release that information yet.
You mentioned it was a Freightliner, so was this like a rig, like an 18-wheeler?
Correct. It was like a tractor trailer, basically without the trailer. So I think one of the colloquial term for that is a bobcat. So.
Sir, do you know if Petty Officer Mayo, in discharging his weapon, did his bullet strike the suspect? Do you know that at all at this point?
Once again, the investigation is still ongoing. It's always difficult after these kinds of things to piece together what exactly happened. So right now we're still in the process of that, and hopefully we'll have that information at a later date.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.